because sometimes what they hear is very, very, very unpleasant, and sometimes you put yourself in their position, and sometimes it's intolerable. Sometimes I wonder how they can actually survive like that. But anyhow, that's other people. We're talking about ordinary human beings now. And when we're criticised, what is our usual reaction to that? And why is that? A lot of times that as soon as somebody criticises us or points out a possible fault, very often we just don't even listen in the first place. And because we don't even listen, we're actually stopping the opportunity for actually maybe improving ourselves, lessening our delusion, finding more possibilities for happiness, finding opportunities for reconciliation with people who we fell out with, and living a more happy, more peaceful, more tolerant life. Simply because we just don't listen when somebody criticises us. But why actually is that? Sometimes it is because very often, that the criticism is always taken actually personally, as if that is an attack on so-called me. And that is the biggest problem here, that when we associate our actions and our deeds as being a fixed, permanent me, a self. And one of the most important parts of the Buddhist path, especially in meditation, is keeping on looking at this thing we call the ego, what we take ourselves to be, the self. And the more we actually investigate this and we weaken it, we have like a much more softer sense of self. Instead of this brittle self, which even the slightest little bit of criticism, creates this amazing reaction, which is out of all proportion, to the situation. So we can actually develop, this sense of, instead of a fixed identity, a solid identity which needs to be protected at all costs, a much more soft, malleable sort of sense of who we are, our identity, where we fit in, what our group is. And that way that we can become more open to criticism.